Okay, so first of all, it's like 2:30 in the morning, and I just got off a 10-hour shift, and I'm talking kind of quiet because everyone's asleep. And secondly, this is my second take because my first one was way too long. So if I'm talking quickly, I'm trying to get through all the information in a short amount of time. Okay, so I need to describe my thoughts about the things that we read about and listened to this week. There's a lot here. So my first memories of working with the internet were, there was a dial-up connection. There was always that strange sound, and you'd connect with the internet. And it seems like, maybe there was something before that. My first memories were the dial-up connections. And then, things have gotten so much better since then. Now we just expect things to happen instantly because even web pages, they load so much faster. And when you were on the internet, it took so much time to load a page, and you'd be like, I want to look at this, and then I want to look at this, but you just didn't have that kind of time to wait for everything to load up. So there was never enough time to see everything that you want to see. And then that's changed so much because now we can just poke around at so many different things in one session on the internet. Another thing that I think is kind of cool is that, it used to be that it was such an individual thing to do. Like, I'd sneak away from my family and go up and get on the internet just to have a little bit of alone time, and I was doing my own thing. And now it's not that way anymore. It's not like we're individuals on there so much, because a lot of the time that we're on there, we're doing something that's social, like posting photos to either Facebook or Instagram, or posting videos, or, like this being in a college environment where we're posting to each other, or a number of different things that we're doing. This is more social than it is an individual thing that we're doing anymore. And so much has changed in terms of how much information seems to be available. Like, I can find information on just anything that I'm looking for. And one of the topics or points that was made by Dr. Wesh in his lecture, he was talking about the way that YouTube is taken off and how it started out at its humble beginnings. Just one second. I lost my train of thought here. So, so he was saying that YouTube has taken off, and how difficult it used to be to upload a video, and now it's not that way anymore, and it's just available to everybody. Oh, I remember my point. So he was talking about all the information that was available and how we are going to catalog all this information. How will we make sense of it and put it into some understandable order? And then he was talking about how everybody, all the users, everybody that gets on there will be able to do that. They can tag it and share it in on Pinterest. You can share it on your board, or you can share it on Facebook, and you can add the hashtags, and there's so many different ways for you to put something, to place it into a category so that's searchable. Pretty cool stuff. And then when he was talking about YouTube and how much that's taken off, it's very interesting to me. And how simplified it is, that people, I guess it used to be really difficult to upload video, and how anybody can do it now. And then he was talking about how there doesn't seem to be as much time as there used to be, and he kind of attributed that to, I wasn't quite really clear as to what he was getting at here, but he was talking about how women went into the workforce and how that had changed the time. Like, we just didn't have time for activities like we used to have. But that made me really think that we're replacing our connections that we used to have with real people in real life, with a lot of times online relationships and online communication with people that we don't really actually know. It does seem like there's kind of a push for people to post pictures, videos, whatever they want to say about themselves, they just want to push it out there as much as possible and get feedback from others. And I wonder if that's because of that we just really don't have those connections so much, like with friends and get-togethers like we used to, even just 20, 30 years ago. And then when he was talking about the first vlogs, I thought that was really funny, because that's just me, because I'm exhausted and I've been working, and so I'm trying to make myself look a little better before my video, and I in my first videos looked ridiculous, and I'm like, nope, delete. Yeah. I don't know why it matters, but it seems to matter when you're putting yourself out there, that you don't look like a moron. And let's see. Oh, I was going to mention too, my first Skype session that I had ever done, it was very awkward, and it was weird, and I can't remember now who it was that I was talking to, but I remember it thinking, how come this is so weird? I've talked to this person lots of times, but it was like I had to relearn a relationship with them because we were using a different medium, and that seemed really awkward, like you didn't know how to talk to them in this method, and so it just was very strange. But those were my thoughts there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much covered. Let's see, I've covered everything. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, so it's talking about podcast. The podcast that I listen to, I'm going to hold it up so that you can see right there on the top. I can't say that guy's name, Brian, whatever his name is, and it's called Talks with Teachers, and he just invites a guest speaker on each week, and the gal that he had on was Cheryl Costello, and she was talking about tech as a tool and how technology can level the playing field, especially for students who maybe come from a home that makes less money. Very interesting. My experience with podcasts in the past have just been the Serial podcast, which I really enjoy listening to Sarah Koenig and the stories that they come up with. That's really interesting. And yes, I would use that in the classroom if it ever was pertinent. I think students would really just be engrossed by those stories. I think she's a very good storyteller. And I assume that, if I came across other podcasts, they would be quite similar, and I might be able to use those in the classroom. I do think that blogging and vlogging are cool. It really took me some time to get used to this whole vlogging thing, but I'm kind of liking it now. I think that could be a very useful tool in the classroom, especially as students are more interested when they're actually doing a hands-on activity. I think that could be good for them. I totally would use Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Instagram if I had the right lesson. I think it definitely has its place. What about using a Facebook page that's for your classroom that you can just post information to, and kids can access very readily, and parents as well? If you post, hey, this student met a goal, or I think that might strike other kids to try harder. As far as the social cloud-based bookmarking tool, I actually opened all of them because I was just curious. I ended up using StumbleUpon and Delicious. I thought the StumbleUpon looked a little more polished, but then I ended up using Delicious more just because of its simple look. I could understand it a little better. And what I did with it was I used it to pin I had a report due in another class, so I just pinned websites to it so that I could find my sources much faster. But I guess that's the only thing I can think of that I would do with it. But maybe I'll come up with more. And then the other thing that I thought of is that Pinterest, isn't that kind of like the same thing? And I love Pinterest to do that in my spare time. So that was pretty cool. And that's it. Thanks. Bye.